This is the Horse Radio Network. I'm Glenn the Geek.
And I am Allison Renborg for Equine Affaire, and you are listening to the monthly Equine Affaire episode of Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for September 15th, episode 3020. This episode is brought to you by Horizon Structures. Good morning, Horse World.
It's the third Thursday of the month. That means it's time for the Equine Affaire episode, North America's premier equine expo and equestrian gathering.
So in this episode, we're exploring 3 different features of the upcoming Equine Affaire in Massachusetts. First, we're going to learn all about the Carolina Marsh Tacky Horse. Then we'll get an inside look at what goes into building a custom barn or shed or chicken coop with Horizon Structures. And then we'll explore how equine-assisted therapies can help service members and their families.
You guys are, less than 2 months away from Equine Affaire? Is this the point where do you have any hair left at this point, or is it all gone?
No, I've been pulling it out. And and this is Monday. So, we're recording on Monday. This is actually Thursday. But yeah, all my hair is gone. I'll just finish with that.
And I think people think with expos like yours that there's a large team. You actually get this done with a fairly small team.
Oh my gosh. We're so tiny. And I don't think people know that. I mean, seriously, I run our Facebook, all our socials, and I'm amazed that people, I think they think there's like 20 or 30 of us. They think I have a whole social media team, first of all.
Yeah, you're the team. Yeah, you're like me. I'm the team. Yeah.
There are 6 of us full time. And then for each expo, this is something people probably don't know. We hire contract workers to help us put it on. And some of them have been doing this for years and years and years. I mean, they are essentially part of the Equine Affaire family, but they just work the expos. And then we also rely on tons of volunteers. And we've got volunteers who have been doing this with us for years and years and years. I mean, they know more than I do, obviously, because I've only been working for the company, in different capacities since 2018. But like our contract workers and our volunteers are really the MVPs.
Is there volunteer positions still open, or is that something they have to? Yeah.
Totally.
People do that.
You can still sign up until September 28th, and you can actually probably sign up after that if you ask real nice. We'll probably still have positions open, but that's kind of the cutoff, the deadline for getting your paperwork in.
How do they do it? They go website.
Yeah. You go to equineaffaire.com and you select our Massachusetts event, and then you go to, I think it's participate, and then volunteer. And then you fill out your form and send it off to Lori, our business manager, and she will get back with you.
Do you know how many volunteers you guys have at a show?
Oh.
Got to be a lot.
A lot. And I mean, the cool thing about volunteering is not just do you get kind of that inside look at what goes on, but you can actually work in exchange for your admission. So if you do so many 2-hour shifts, you get you can get a full day admission for free or a 4-day pass. I think it's like 8 hours. Don't quote me on that. If you work like a full day, you get admission to the whole event.
And let's be honest, the admission's inexpensive compared to what they're going to spend on stuff. So,
yeah. And you also get a classy souvenir if you work so many shifts, whether it's a hat or a shirt or a poster. I can't remember. It kind of changes, but we do give you something back for all your lovely hard work, in addition to just having a good time. So.
Very cool. Well, There you go. If you're looking at going, you're going to be up that way and you want to volunteer, just go to the website now and get that done. I'm excited for what's coming up today, and especially for our first guest, because I love doing breed highlights. And we have Pamela Landskroener on today, and she operates Lazy Dog Acres in Maryland, and she breeds, trains, shows, and sells Marsh Tackies. She'll be participating in the Breed Pavilion at Equine Affaire this fall with her yearling filly and mare, and it's always been her goal to exhibit Tackies at Equine Affaire, and this year she's getting to do that. We're going to find out what is a Marsh Tacky, why are they so cool, and why does Pam love them. Well, hi, Pamela. Thanks for joining us today. I'm so excited. We love doing the breed segments, and in all the 3,000 episodes we've done, I don't think we ever talked about the Marsh Tacky. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
So how did you fall into the Marsh Tacky world, or how did they find you?
So I actually stumbled on them before I actually realized what they were. When I was doing research in college, I was stumbling across them without, knowing that it was the Marsh Tacky. And a friend of mine was breeding them down in South Carolina and raising them, training them. And I knew it was a breed that I wanted to work with. And I kept telling her, when I have a farm, like, this is the breed that I want. This is what I want to work with. And when I finally did end up, getting a Tacky, I started doing more research on the breed itself and realized I was like, oh, this is the breed that I've been hearing about that, was so prevalent with the indigenous population that was in the Low Country in South Carolina and was part of the Gullah culture that was going on down there on the Sea Islands and stuff. And so being able to put two and two together, so they actually were part of my life before they were part of my life. It was very weird.
So have they determined, were they part of the Spanish horses that were brought over? What's the lineage?
They are, yep. So they are part of the colonial Spanish strain that came out of the 1500s, so the Iberian strains. They're closely related to the banker and cracker horses that you see. Mm-hmm. So like the ones in Corolla and the ones down in Florida that you see. Not quite so much as like with the Mustangs. The Mustangs have kind of bred a little bit differently just because of the environment that they live in. Whereas these horses that you see on a lot of the coastal areas have remained a little bit more pure to like their strain specifically. So yeah, they are a colonial Spanish strain though.
Well, they're made to live in swamps, basically. So yeah. What's different about them that helps them survive in that wet, icky, gross environment?
They can.
I live in Florida, so I can say that, by the way.
No, I lovingly refer to them as my swamp donkeys. Yeah. They will live off of anything. You can put them out on pasture that you wouldn't even look twice at for some horses. And they're like, a buffet. Beautiful. So they are very easy to keep. They are incredibly hardy when it comes to, we'll have storms come through and they don't care. My guys will not go into the run-in unless it is absolutely atrocious. They would just rather be out in the weather.
Well, how about their feet? All I can think is Thrush Central,
Oh, no, their feet are amazing. My farrier is in love with all of my horses. She loves trimming my horses. She will come out and she'll be like, I love these feet. These feet are amazing. She bends nails on their feet.
So are they naturally just hard all the time?
Yeah, these feet are amazing. So I have taken them out on some aggressive terrain and they come back and they are ready and raring to go.
So how big are they? Are they a little bigger than ponies? That's what I'm picturing.
So they come anywhere from 13 hands to 15 hands. Okay. So my one mare is 13.2. And then I have another mare who is 15. And my yearling, we just estimated she's probably going to come in about 15 hands as well.
And tough as nails?
Oh, yes. All of them. But they're really sweet, which is funny because normally when you think tough as nails horses, you think of like, cranky also. And these guys are just the absolute puppy dogs. My husband is not a horse person, and he freely admits that. And our one mare, who is currently pregnant right now and should be amazingly cranky, will stand there and tolerate him putting her fly sheet on backwards and dragging it around on him to fix it and like all this stuff. And she's just like, okay, yeah, no, it's fine.
So I'm looking at the website, at your website, marshtacky.info. That's yours, right?
That is for CMTA. Yep, that's our association.
Okay. So I went to the for sale section and there's none. I assume they're not, you won't find them everywhere for sale.
Oh, yeah. No, they are very hard to come by still. It's a very limited breed still. They're actually still listed as critically endangered. So
how trainable are they? Are they real trainable?
They are very easy to train. Yeah. We like to joke that they're born trained. We generally, when we're training them, usually when you go to, saddle a horse and back it the first time, you're like, okay, now everybody take it easy. We're going to get on the horse. And most of the time with these guys, you're like, all right, we're getting on the horse. We got on the horse. Well, let's just keep going and see, like we're going to walk over here and then we're going to walk over there. Do you have a problem with this? No? Great. They're just unfazed.
So are they good for, what are they used for? Are they good for almost anything or?
Whatever your heart desires. So I do mostly English disciplines with mine, eventing, dressage. My one mare is a show hunter. And I know other people who move cattle with them. They do endurance riding with them. They take them out on trails. They go hunting with them. They use them to pull deer and hogs out of the woods and stuff. They are the ultimate, do it all horse.
See, I'm a carriage driver, so yeah, I'm just thinking.
Oh yeah, they'll do it.
They're the right size. They're a perfect size for that.
Yep, they'll do it.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, they're the perfect size for you, and you live in the perfect location.
I do.
Glenn,
Yeah, we can take them in the swamps here. How are they with alligators?
There you go.
I assume they're used to alligators because where you live. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll do it. And I have a friend that goes, she'll go out on trails, and every once in a while she'll text me. She'll be like, "We ran into alligators again."
They go.
That's going to be that's going to be the new Sci-Fi Channel movie, Swamp Donkey versus Alligator.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's going to win?
Got nothing on Sharknado.
After we moved down here. My wife's a fox hunter, and she went fox hunting in Florida for the first time. And she said, "Yeah, that was the first time we ran into alligators on a fox hunt." So,
oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Oh my gosh, fox hunting's bad enough. With alligators.
They seem to come in all colors too. They're not just all bay.
No. We like to keep it interesting. They do come in pretty much any color. We obviously don't have, paint colors. But they do come. We've got chestnuts, we've got bays. We do have all the dilutions and everything. We do have duns. My yearling is actually a very nice sandy dun. We're not sure how that happened. We were expecting this. She came out and she was all nice and red. And I was like, oh, she's going to be this really gorgeous red dun. And then she's like, I'm going to be more yellow. I was like, or you could be that. Cool. Thanks.
This is the size, too, that most of, we were talking about the Spanish horses. They're about the size that history shows that the Spanish horses were that they brought over here on the ships. Yeah. They were, everybody pictures great big horses, but they weren't.
No, you don't want big horses on a ship.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So I hear that you're very excited to be making your way to Equine Affaire.
Yes.
What are you going to be doing? What are you bringing?
So I am actually going to be bringing the yearling that I was just talking about. She's going to be coming up because she is probably one of the chillest yearlings I've ever met in my life. I'm also going to be bringing my mare, the 13-2 mare. She's the show hunter. She's going to be coming up with me, and I've got a couple other people that are going to be joining me. They're also going to be bringing a few of their horses with us, and we're going to do some of the breed demos. One of us has an application in for the versatile horse and rider competition, so we have our fingers crossed that she'll get accepted for that.
What will you do during your breed demo?
We are not sure yet.
You got to bring some alligators in the swamp.
Yes, we're just going to bring some alligators, and we're just going to ride circles around the alligators with the horse and be like, behold.
I've been to Massachusetts in the fall, or we lived there, so I've lived there in the spring and fall, and it's pretty swampy at times in Massachusetts, too.
Oh, yeah. I grew up there, and I was like, you know what? That wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
No. Allison?
But can you imagine the looks on the audience's faces when you lead in an alligator into the middle of the Coliseum?
I think that's perfect.
Yeah. They'd be like, we are here for the Equine Affaire, right?
That you would pack the stands. You would have more people than any other demonstration.
Right, exactly. Okay. Be like, this is the one with the alligators. This is the one I told you about.
I think I want to do that now, and then we could have an alligator roast at the end of the day.
Alligator po' boys to follow.
Oh, then you'd have all the vegetarians complaining. It'd be a nightmare. So, yeah.
True.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Yeah.
Well, since I'm interjecting here, Pam, which of your mares gave you away at your wedding?
So that would be Raggedy Ann. She is the 13-2 chestnut mare. So she's a chestnut pony mare. She has opinions.
Mm.
And
What'd
how
she
did that
say about
go?
giving you away at the wedding? I mean,
She was glorious.
Okay.
I told the photographer, I said, just keep shooting. I said, no matter how sideways this goes, just keep taking pictures. And we got to the end, and the photographer goes, well, I mean, it looked great. There was nothing to really, she's like, she looked great. She fell asleep during the ceremony.
yeah, we always advise people not to have horses at their wedding because we've covered every story where it goes wrong.
Yeah, everything goes wrong.
You went right. That's good. You're married, right?
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
You
did it
still
proper.
married?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Glenn, stepping into that.
Everybody asks me, though. They see all the pictures and they're like, you did get married to a human.
Yeah, well, that's what my
man,
next question was
right?
going to be, but I didn't.
Yeah.
See, I even held back at that one. So
Yes.
Allison's going, why do I do a show with him? I'm not sure.
Right.
Because he makes me laugh. That's why.
He was there. He married me. He puts up with the horses. He's learning to love them.
So he was like me, he was not a horsey person?
Oh, he was not even a country person.
Oh, really? You married a city guy?
Well, I wouldn't say city. He grew up in a rural county, but he grew up in the town. So farm stuff was not his shtick.
Yeah, that was me too.
And then we bought a farm right after we got married, and he was like, this is not what I thought I was signing up for at all.
There you go. How many years did it
Too
take him to
late.
get used to it? Or are we still working on that?
He's still getting there.
Okay.
He's still getting there.
I need to have him on a horse husband episode. We need to talk to him.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, when did the pain start?
Yeah.
You can have my husband on that one too, Glenn.
You know what their question is? Not when did the pain start. They know when it started. They want to know when it's going to stop. And the answer is
Right,
never.
they're like,
Never.
Is there an end to this?
No. There
No.
not
It's eternal.
That's right. All right, we're way off the topic here. So,
Right.
so I got to ask Allison this. Is the breed, does that happen the whole time? Or is it one day? Or how's that work? The breed stuff?
Yeah, so there's the breed pavilion, and that is the whole time. It's a stationary, it's a station within Equine Affaire. It's a feature. So you can walk through there. You're going to have horses on display. You're going to have people to talk to. You can pet the horses in most cases. And then the breed demos are scattered throughout the schedule, all 4 days. And of course, the schedule will be published in advance. So you can plan your day around, I want to see this breed demo and that breed demo. So kind of both.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be fun. Thank you for joining us today. Where can people go to see pretty pictures of pretty horses?
Pretty pictures of pretty horses. They can obviously go to the Tacky website, which is, always nice. They can see pictures there. They can also go to, I have the Instagram for my ponies that gets updated regularly, and that is Marsh_Tacky_in_MD.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
I know. That was not my finest moment in creating that one.
It's perfect. It tells everything you need to know.
That's
I
right.
thought it was great until I sat down. I had to actually say it to somebody, and then I went, I may have made a mistake here.
We'll put it in the show notes, and it'll be
There you
easy.
go.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Not a problem. I loved it.
Now more than ever before, people are bringing their horses home. Horizon Structures can help you make that dream come true with a prefab run-in shed row barn, or modular center aisle barn. Their product line also includes chicken coops, kennels, and a variety of outdoor living structures. Financing is available for any building type, and you can apply on their website at www.horizonstructures.com. Several plans available. Horizon Structures has been a faithful sponsor of Equine Affaire for many years, and Jill Siragusa is our next guest, and she is their Chief Marketing Officer. Hi, Jill. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Allison. Thank you for having me today.
I was hoping you could talk to us about your favorite subject, which is Horizon Structures. So for the audience, tell us a little bit about the company.
Okay. Well, the company, I've been there 17 years, and I think Dave Zook, who's one of the owners, started it probably a year or two before I was hired. So we've been around a long time. We started out making prefab shed row horse barns and run-in sheds, and we've since expanded from the barn side of things into our center aisle barns, both with and without a loft, second floor. And of course, we still continue with the shed rows and the run-in sheds. Very, very popular. That's our main bread and butter. Our main specialty is the prefab and modular horse barns, but we also do outdoor living structures, chicken coops, dog kennels, all kinds of things. Greenhouses, super popular item right now.
I think you're understating it. You make palaces for chickens. These things are, I would live in one of these chicken coops.
We've had people tell us that, and about the dog kennels too, and the horse barns. It is a nice building.
These are the fanciest chicken coops and dog kennels I've ever seen. It's like...
Well, and in one of the pictures of the residential dog kennels on the website, which is horizonstructures.com, I see a corgi. So literally it's for doggy royalty.
Yes, very timely.
Right?
How about that? Yes. And horses and dogs go together. If you've got horses, you've got dogs, and why not have a kennel? Keep your pups out of trouble when you're riding or training. They don't have to be out there all the time. People want their dogs in the house, of course, but the kennels are very handy, very handy.
So does it, I live in Florida. Can I buy one of your barns, let's say, or even chicken coops, whatever?
Yes.
And do you send it? Is it like Legos? You send it and I can put it together? Or do you put it? Do you build the barns, or do we hire somebody here to do that? How's that work?
Yes, we ship basically coast to coast, north, south, Maine to Florida, Washington to California, Texas, everywhere within the continental U.S. The smaller buildings like the kennels and the chicken coops, the shed row barns, and the run-in sheds are shipped pre-built. They come off the truck. You put your animals in them. They're ready to use right away.
Okay.
Some of the larger kennels and the modular barns come in pre-built sections. We send the crew to put it together. It is not a kit. You don't have to do anything. Everything's included in your price. And all you do is have the site ready before we get there, and we'll take care of the rest.
Oh, okay.
Nice. So you get the building and a crew.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And, smaller building, they're going to be done in a couple days. The larger barns, maybe a week to 10 days, and they're ready to go.
Will the crew stick around and help clean stalls later?
No. Sorry, but I will tell you, you don't have to feed them, and you do not have to let them sleep in your garage, or they will not pitch a tent in your backyard. They are self-sufficient.
Now, you're in Lancaster County. The company's out of Lancaster County. I grew up there. Are these Amish made?
Yes, they are. I mean, I would say 99% of our guys are Amish, and the crew as well. Although most of the crew is the younger guys. You might not see the guys with the beards and the hats. The crew is the younger guys that typically aren't married and haven't joined the church, and they get a big kick out of traveling. They love it. So
I'll tell you what, I have seen barn raisings in person, many of them actually, and houses being built by the Amish, and it's amazing the speed at which they get them done.
Oh,
just
yes.
incredible. We always said if we want to get it done right, we're going to have the Amish do it, and that's who we'd hire.
Yeah. And we built a great barn, but I'll tell you what, our customers rave about our crews and our drivers, the guys that deliver the buildings or the modular sections. Those guys are fantastic, and our customers, if you look on our Google reviews online, our customers probably rave about our crews just as much as our buildings. They're really great guys. They really are.
That's important. That matters. Because, I mean, I think we've all had the experience of a crew coming to build something, or contractors or something, and then you look out in your yard later and it's like littered with cigarette butts and fast food wrappers and stuff.
Right. Not going to happen. You know, our guys clean up after themselves. They really do. And they've really got a great work ethic. They'll probably be there before the sun is up, and they put in a full day. And they do good work. It's not sloppy. They really are great.
Well, how much can you customize? So for example, I'm looking at the play sets because I have a little girl, and I was like, oh, play sets. And you can do color combinations, and you can do different roofs and can you do all those options for all the different things? So the barns, the chicken coops, everything.
Absolutely. We do have, with COVID, and we all know how that affected raw materials, and lead times were insane. So we do have a pretty robust stock buildings of all types on our website that we kind of built up to meet that long lead time and whatever. And those you have to buy as is. But if you're going to order a building, everything is built to order, and you absolutely can pick your colors, your roof, your siding, paint, stain, everything. It's completely customizable.
That's awesome. And there's even some really cool hardware. I'm looking at hardware on the L-shaped barn, and there's like a horseshoe with a horse head and everything.
Yeah, that is standard. That is standard. When you say hardware, it makes me think of, we have some folks that, hey, we want European stall fronts. And that's not typically a standard thing that we carry, but we'll get them for you. Whatever you want, we do our best to get them for you. And if I may give a little plug to the website, we have a page out there. It's called our Project Showcase. If you go on Horse Barns and that drop-down menu, you're going to see Project Showcase. It's something kind of new for us. You can search by barn type, number of stalls, zip, location, and see how much we can customize these barns. There's all kinds of great ideas out there that people have asked us to do, and we've done it.
So I'm looking at that now. So are these actual pictures of actual structures like installed somewhere, people's home that you've...
Yeah.
What?
These are all our
cool.
customers. These are all our customers. These are all barns that Horizon has built. And if you can see on the map, we're branching out to the western states now. Not everything is built in Lancaster. We have a network of builders throughout the country, so we can reach more areas. And we're getting barns out west.
There's Amish everywhere now.
That is true. That is true.
It used to be Lancaster County, and then they moved. They started moving out when the land prices got so high when I lived there.
And it's getting a little crowded around here, too. So, yeah, you're right. You're right.
And you guys also do, if you don't have a need for a barn, but you also do gazebos and pergolas and greenhouses and all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just shopping. So you guys continue. I'm just going to continue shopping. And one of the things I tried is you can build your own. You can customize your own.
Yes.
And you have a little builder in there. That's fun.
Yes, we do. And a lot of people use that. People love to play around with that. And, when you do that builder, it sends us an email. We'll get back to you with a price, a complete price, delivery, setup, everything. Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
So you're talking about the 3D rendering, right?
Yes.
Well,
that's
really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. That's if someone wanted to go try that, they would go to Horse Barns on the main Horizon Structures website, and then the 3D renderings drop down.
Yes.
Right.
Some of our larger projects, we create those for the client. On any of the modular barn pages, you'll see a link. It says build your barn or something to that effect. And we do have a mechanism on our website that kind of allows you to sort of recreate that yourself. And that's where the quote, you would get the quote. Yeah.
I just built a gazebo.
Oh, yes.
Put
You
the
can do it
cupola on it. It shows you a picture as you're going too. It's really cool.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Don't mind me. I'm just over here.
So your website is super robust, which is awesome. I'm having fun too. So while Glenn's playing with it, but if people wanted to see and touch, Horizon Structures products, you guys are going to be at Equine Affair. Are you bringing any with you?
Absolutely. We do every year. We're bringing a 3-stall. It's got 3 stalls and a tack room, low-profile barn. We're bringing a shed row barn with an overhang, and I'm not even sure how many run-in sheds, but a bunch of them.
Beautiful. So
and usually we set those barns up with all the bells and whistles, so people can really see the kind of things you can do.
I just built my own gazebo and sent for a quote. So
all right.
Mine will be coming in shortly.
Awesome.
Jennifer, my wife's in there going, thanks a lot, Allison.
You didn't opt for the 8x10 chicken mansion? Because that's what I want.
We don't have chickens, but I love this gazebo. So
I don't have chickens either, but I'm going to get the mansion and then the chickens.
We have more. I got to tell you, we have more listeners with chickens than horses, I think. Chickens are so in. You're probably doing a lot of chicken stuff because chickens are in.
We are. And, it's been that way for a couple years. When we first brought out the pre-built chicken coops, it went crazy. Then it kind of slowed down a little bit, but with COVID, it's really climbing back up there. And, we're not the cheapest coop, but
that's because they're a palatial mansion. I mean,
your chickens are going to live good. And, we got a picture from someone a couple years ago in a storm. A tree fell on top of their coop and the coop was still standing. I mean, they are well built. They are well built and will last for years, literally.
Well, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Well, happy chickens lay better tasting eggs.
That's
so
true.
I think you get...
Except I wouldn't want to use it. They'd poop all over it. It's so pretty.
I guess you could store stuff in the chicken mansion if you...
I could live in one of these. It's so big. Jill, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome. It was a lot of fun.
HorizonStructures.com. See, dreams can come true with Horizon Structures horse barns. They have a center aisle modular barn, a shed row barn, and run-in sheds. Horizon Structures has a barn for every horse owner's budget. The long list of standard features means there's nothing extra to buy. A Horizon Structure barn is a complete package, and as she said, they'll even build it for you. Talk to one of their team members today. Call 888-447-4337. And financing is available.
Next up on the show, we have Tara Mahoney and Ryan Casavant. They're coming to us from the Equine Immersion Project. Tara is the CEO and has implemented programming for thousands of veterans, active duty service members, and first responders alongside her incredible team. Tara is a trauma counselor who has combined her professional calling with her lifetime passion for horses. Ryan is the Chief Operating Officer of the Equine Immersion Project. He is a USMC veteran with combat tour experience in both Iraq and Afghanistan. He has degrees in psychology, sociology, biblical studies, and youth ministry, and he's been on and off horses since he was 14. Hi, Ryan and Tara. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having us.
It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm a huge fan.
Well, I'm a big fan of you guys and the work that you do with the Equine Immersion Project. So let's kind of dive right in. For the audience, maybe Tara would be the best one to answer this question, but let's start with, what is the Equine Immersion Project? What do you guys do?
How much time do you have? It is a great question. And it's really interesting to be able to speak to an educated audience who really gets the work of a horse, rather than trying to have to pitch the idea of what is it about a horse that could possibly hold space for someone with trauma. So what we do is about 10 years ago, we realized we needed to get people, veterans, service members, active duty, first responders, off the couch from talking with me as a trauma counselor and really into the arena and possibly even into the saddle. We really find that the work of the horse, that visceral connection, just makes massive changes in such less time. And it's really the connections that we're looking for to heal trauma and to recover and live the life you want.
Well, and you and I talked about this a little bit the other day, and something came to mind for me is just that act of getting out of your head and using your body and using your hands and like touching and sensation and all those great things that we do when we're outside and with horses. It's really healing even, for everybody, not just veterans and active duty, but like I imagine the effects are just magnified for them.
Well, absolutely. All of your listeners have all gone through things. We all have. And we find ourselves, as horse people, maybe standing in the field and just being surrounded by, like you said, that sensory, what we call aromatherapy, but, barns have a special smell. So it's a little aromatherapy that's, redneck aromatherapy. But it really is, the stigma is also broken. Mm-hmm. So, having trauma and saying, okay, it's Tuesday morning, I've got to drive to my clinician's office and find parking and then wait in the waiting room, all of that, versus, hey, I'm going to go see Buddy the horse. And no one has sat on the couch and taken a selfie with me, honestly, in my therapy office. But boy, as soon as they're with the horses and in that kind of an environment where they can be a part of something that really grounds them and gets them reconnected to feeling. Without having to just talk.
Well, and the aromatherapy is, I think everyone just took a deep breath when they were listening and went, the smell of manure and hay and dirt and sweat and so healing.
See, for us horse husbands, it's the smell of the wife when she comes home. See, that's what we have. I'm not sure it's the same, to be honest, in that situation.
Glenn, you should certainly market that. That is one perfume I have not seen on the shelves.
So, Ryan, can you tell us what does a typical session look like? Or maybe you both can kind of go back and forth on this one, but what does it look like when you actually have patients or people out with the horses and you're working with them to heal trauma or to help them work through emotion?
Yeah, excuse me. So typically we start the morning off with just kind of a gathering, coffee, donuts, lots of coffee. If you know anything about military or first responders, coffee is key to everything.
Yes.
So we make sure we really have good coffee to start off the morning. But usually it's just that time of, like Tara always talks about, and we always talk about, is that it's that first half hour just kind of, making introductions, making small talk, just kind of feeling each other out. Because sometimes the sessions could be all one unit. It also could be just, we're helping out another organization, just people that we've never met before, or men and women that have never met each other before, or, just kind of getting that small talk out of the way. And then we jump into staff introductions, kind of give them a plan of attack for the day, just to see so they have an idea of what's going on. Because that group, especially those groups of people, they like to have an idea of what's going on. They may not know exactly what's going on, but at least they have like some time checks or things going on throughout the day. And then we get out there. Usually it's one patient, client, whatever the case may be, to one horse. Sometimes we let them go out in the paddock or the field or the arena and let them find a horse that, quote unquote, speaks to them. Kind of let that play out until they find someone. We help them, guide them. Sometimes there's those nerves, that hesitation, or we have those ones that have just love horses, like everybody that's listening, just kind of like, I always call every horse buttercup. It's just, we meet so many horses in so many different areas that I just forget names. So they'll just go out there, buddy up with them. And then we just kind of guide them through the process. I'll let Tara take over because she usually helps start out that part of the process.
So Ryan is bringing up a really important thing. In the military, you don't have choice, right? So you're told where you're going to live, what your job is, where your kids might go to school. So having choice is a huge component here. So say we're going to start out the morning. Here's a great story, actually. We were working with this one Army Ranger sniper and said, go ahead, grab a horse. How do you want to do this? And of course, he picks the biggest horse, the fastest horse. He identified it as a high value target. So he goes in there with this halter and lead rope, and he is going to catch this horse. And, turns around after about 5 or 6 minutes and looks at me and the team. He's like, this horse therapy stuff is awful. And we say, how about this? Why don't you check yourself at the gate and try again and connect with the horse? Just stand there, just be. And, eventually, biggest horse comes right on up, head on his shoulder. And it was that moment that he said, oh my gosh, that's why people in Walmart avoid me. That's why, when I walk into the house and the kids don't want to run up and hug me, or my boss, is I'm looking at everything as a sniper, right? So the moment he did that and shifted, gosh, the rest of the day with that horse, after he rode that horse for about 2 hours on the trail, he said, this is the first time I've not thought about Afghanistan for 3 hours straight. How does this work? And it's taking the time, it's not a pony ride, not, we have 10 horses all saddled up, hop on and cowboy up and let's see what you're going to do. It's a full day. That's why we're immersion, because it's building those relationships and having to go through, checking feet and grooming and really regulating yourself so that you have that connection to earn the right to carriage drive or to vault or whatever we might be doing that day. Glenn, I know you do a lot of carriage driving, and that's a really big part of actually what we do, either ground driving or carriage driving. We have some 18-hand draft horses that will trailer into certain programs and areas. And, people that say, heck no, I'm not getting behind that thing. What are you talking about? But learning to find your voice and have that soft touch, and pace, that's a totally different experience than that adrenaline rush of, I've just got to, get out there and go fast. So there's so many different ways to interact. And we talk to farms all over the country that are, we have a bunch of smaller horses. We can't, get someone on that's over 250 pounds but there's a lot of other ways to do this work. And we hope that your listeners are inspired or think of looking at their herd and seeing what is possible.
It's all those wimpy riders who won't get in the cart with me. So. It is a different experience, though. I never thought about it that way, but it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, so a lot of it.
A great story that we have, I'll let Ryan jump in next, is we do a lot of carriage driving and ground driving with military sexual trauma. So that gives you that distance, gives you a chance to find your voice. Finding G and pop, or finding, walk on and whoa, just finding your voice when you didn't really have a voice when assault happened. So, you can be really creative about who you're working with and what that might look like.
Yeah, no, I'll just say the biggest thing that we try to do is inherently a lot of military members, first responders, what our trust is a huge thing. And like Tara touched upon, it's just building that relationship from the ground up. Like most of the first part of the morning is just building that relationship. There's a lot of give and take, and then also showing how that there is communication without talking, whether it's touch or sight or just holding that space for that individual or holding that space for that horse. There's always a little bit of trepidation every time someone walks up to a horse, whether you're a seasoned horse person, man or woman or whatnot, or just someone that hasn't been on a horse for a long time, or just someone that is just outright scared. And that's why we really concentrate on that bonding piece, that grooming, picking the hoof, just being able to sit there, like we alluded to at the beginning of the conversation. Like I'm big on, involving as many senses as possible to learn something or to experience something. And we can read a book, I always tell people you can read a book on how to change a tire, but until you change a tire, you've never done it. Right. So we just kind of incorporate everything so that way, they're able to, if they're with their unit, they can see each other, finding their own voices, maybe speaking up for themselves. And we're going to encourage them through the day, because I say, you are your own voice today. If you're uncomfortable, if you're not sure what's going on, if you have a question, ask. we're not giving orders. We're just giving suggestions. So like, hey, we're just going to walk you through this so everybody's on the same page. So it's bonding them to the horse to them, but also bonding them to us, because they're inherently trusting us because we're the ones talking or facilitating. But it helps us develop that relationship with them as well. And it carries it on through the rest of the day. So as the challenges, in the experiential world, challenge by choice, it's like, hey, like Tara said, we want to get them from the ground into the saddle. There's been days where you get to the end of the day when we're about to do a trail ride or a walk around the arena, and they're just like, don't want to get on the horse. We're like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to get on the horse, but would you like to walk your horse? Like, most definitely. And so like, we kind of make sure that there's a piece for everybody and meet them where they're at. We don't try to bring them up to, horseback, horse riding professional or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Kind of meet them where they're at. And that's usually the biggest piece throughout the day.
Well, that's true of us when we go out and see our horses, right? There's some days I feel like putting the harness on and the cart and all that stuff. And there's other days I just want to take my horse out and let him graze. It's just, there are those days when you just need that.
And there's days when we want to put the harness on, but the horse doesn't want that. Right? Well,
that's true. But I got to say, with ponies, that's almost every day. So,
right. Everybody thinks the minis are the easiest.
Yeah. No, they prefer not to at all.
But again, that's what's really fun about this work is it's not, that we're just on a yoga mat and teaching mindfulness or, self-regulation. It's you're interacting now with some big living creature. One really funny story, actually, when I was listening to Ryan talk about trust, we were working with someone and gosh, he had 40, 50 months worth of deployments, Black Hawk helicopter medic, into very dangerous areas. And the way he tells the story is that we put him in this, 5-foot stall with a stallion, just like breathing fire and everything. And he was like, I'm not touching that thing. It actually was, like a 26-year-old mare who was just drooling and farting the whole time. And it was like a 30-foot area. But by the end of the day, or before lunch, he was like, hey, you know what? This horse is doing great, but I think I want to check out Big Mac over there. We're like, all right, now build a different kind of relationship. And so he had that like thread appraisal of heck no, and then, learned how to walk a horse around cones or over poles or whatever obstacles he set up. And then to have the choice to say, actually, I'm ready to take it to another level. And by the end, he's like, I want to look like a cowboy and, neck ready, and it just the sense of competency, right? So we go for connection and we go to competency.
So Tara, tell us where y'all are based. How do you guys work? Do you have a dedicated herd of horses that you take with you, or do you work with different barns across the country? Kind of walk us through that.
That's a great question. So we are all over the place, actually. Ryan's in Boston. I'm in New Hampshire. The team is spread out. We really found that having one central location for the continuity of care piece was important. However, there's so many great farms all across the country, all across the world that are doing amazing work. And we kind of go in and say, hey, let's put this together with you. Do you have military cultural competency? Do you understand trauma-informed care? All right, let's set this up. Let's get you connected with your local VA, your vet center, whatever it might be. Does your community have a desire and a demand for this work? So a great example is we were just down in Georgia last week. The Army Rangers sadly had a catastrophic event with some loss of life at the Army Ranger Mountain phase of training. So within 8 days, we mobilized, went down there and ran programming. We tried to stay off the airstrip near the Blackhawks, but ran some programming, collaborated with the Georgia Equine Rescue League. They were amazing, just showed up with horses and, it worked. So we are mobile and really want to be able to get to rural or underserved populations where a lot of horse farms are that could do good work. Just make sure we can get them, lined up to do it, because you really only have one time to make the right impression with this community.
Speaking of mobility, because we're about out of time, but you guys are going to join us at Equine Affaire in Mass, and you're going to actually host some activities for service members on Veterans Day with us. So can you tell us real quickly, either Tara or Ryan, what that's going to look like? And then we'll have to let you go. But go ahead and tell us.
Sure. So we are so excited to be at Equine Affaire again. We were there last year. We did 2 sessions on groundwork, psychotherapy, and equine assisted learning, because there are differences. This year we're going to be, it's November 11th, which is Veterans Day, doing arrows. Such an honor. We're going to have veterans sign up at our Equine Immersion Project table and bring them on into an arena with 4 horses that we've never met, with people we've never met, and kind of show you how to do a groundwork session and rotate people through as an example of how do you mobilize and get yourself up and running. Equine Affaire has been so generous. They're providing horses with your barn manager. So we're really excited to be there.
And we can't wait to have you there. So last thing, how can people learn more about the Equine Immersion Project?
Terrific. Our website at Equine Immersion Project. Facebook, of course, is Equine Immersion Project. And also with Horses and Humans Research Foundation. We run webinars there with them. I serve on the board for HHRF, and we really believe it's important to invest in rigorous research as a catalyst to advance the knowledge of the horse-human interaction. So it's not just, hey, this works, it feels good, but why? What is the research to support this work? So Horses and Humans Research Foundation is another way to find us.
Perfect. And they're actually going to be, if I'm not mistaken, they'll be at Mass too. So
absolutely.
So thank you guys for joining us. This was really fascinating. And I know the audience will enjoy learning about you. So thank you. And before we wrap up the show, I wanted to talk about kind of a feature at Equine Affaire that maybe not everyone knows about, which is called the Marketplace. And the Marketplace is our consignment shop. So that means you can bring any of your horse-related gear, anything you can carry. So, Glenn, don't be bringing like a wagon or something. But anything you can carry. So, tack, apparel, gear, that kind of thing. And you can consign it at Equine Affaire. So, if you bring it, you can bring it anytime. But I would say
basically,
bring it
you guys
Thursday.
have a used store?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can consign, you can shop for bargains, that kind of thing. And then our staff will sell your stuff for you. And then you can come back and get cash. And then you can go back out into the
somewhere
else. Yeah, exactly. That's how I always sell it. So
I didn't know you guys did this. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's awesome. We have it at both events. And it's been super popular. Like, I want to say Ohio this past spring, we had to get more volunteers and more staff to send up there because it was so crazy. Like everybody just really, they brought like tack rooms of stuff, trailers of stuff, and we had to process it all and put, price tags on all of them and lay it out. And I mean, it was crazy. It was good, but business was good.
I wish Jennifer lived closer because she has all this stuff. I just asked her the other day, what about all this stuff out here? And she's like, well, I'm going to sell it. And that's not going to happen. But if she could go there, that'd be perfect.
Well, there's the one in Ohio, which is a lot closer to you. I mean, it's closer than Massachusetts.
yeah, a little, tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, this has been a fun show. I loved hearing about the horses, and I loved checking out the chicken coops, and I loved buying a gazebo for my backyard, which I haven't gotten the quote on yet, but I'm sure I will.
Any minute now.
I really did send it in. So
any minute now.
Jennifer's like, oh, man. She hates you now, by the way. So
sorry. How can I make it up to her?
Pay for the gazebo, apparently.
Oh, man. Can I do a payment
plan? We'll be
plan?
back again tomorrow. Jamie and I will be here tomorrow. We'll be doing a usual Friday show. And yes, we will be doing Really Bad Ads. I know we missed last week's because of the tribute to the Queen, but Really Bad Ads will be back. Get your ads into Jennifer@horseradionetwork.com. Of course, Equine Affaire. You can find all the information. What's the website again?
Equineaffaire.com.
And we'll be doing the next episode. It'll be like weeks away from when you do the show. So we'll be weeks away. So
we're getting even closer. I'll have even less hair.
Yeah, should be more stressed. Thanks, everybody. Take care.